Welcome to another deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're plunging into, well, a really profound set of sources, excerpts from John Boyne's novel, All the Broken Places. Our mission really is to unpack the life of the main character. She's deeply haunted by her past.
Yeah.
And we want to explore how history and her own choices have shaped her entire life. We'll find some surprising details about her present day.
Which is quite opulent, as we'll see.
Exactly, and contrast that with her journey through post-war Europe and eventually uncover this, well, quite chilling connection to another very famous book.
What's so compelling, I think, is how the story makes us wrestle with these big themes, Complicity, memory, even self-deception.
Right.
This character, she tries to distance herself from a really dark history, sees herself, and this is a quote, as a victim of historical amnesia, acquitted from complicity and exonerated from blame.
Wow.
It sort of echoes that Voltaire idea, doesn't it? Every man is guilty of all the good he did not do. These initial thoughts really frame how we understand her.
Okay, so let's unpack that. We first meet her, essentially, in 2022 London, living in what the book calls a flat. But let's be clear, this is Mayfair. It's described as 1,500 square feet.
Which is huge for London.
Huge. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, views over Hyde Park. Valued at, what, 2 to 3 million pounds?
Easily. And she's actually worried about new neighbors moving in downstairs.
Yeah, dreading it. So quite comfortable, you might say.
Very. But then you contrast that with her origins.
Exactly.
She gets out of Germany with her mother in early 46. The war's only been over for months.
But she's just 15.
Just 15. Traveling from, as the text says, what was left of Berlin to what was left of Paris.
Imagine that journey.
And she's still sort of processing the Axis defeat. Her father had apparently filled her head with ideas about their genetic superiority and the Fuhres' incomparable skills as a strategist.
So quite the ideological baggage she's carrying into this new life.
Yeah.
So what does this mean for her attempt to? Well, maybe erase the past? In Paris, we see her renting this room on the Ile de la Cité.
Right, on the eastern side.
And she confines herself, walking these loops between Pont de Sully and Pont Neuf, afraid to go further.
Almost like a self-imposed prison, in a way.
It seems like it. She even thinks about her brother, the one who wanted to be an explorer. But the text says she was always quick to dismiss his memory.
Which raises a huge question, doesn't it? How do you square that kind of past trauma with this seemingly settled, luxurious present?
Right.
And the sources mention this period of confinement, seeing no family for 3 months.
Right, just working with a Dr. Allenby.
To unravel her troubles, as it's put, her partner, Edgar, visited twice a week for a year. His mother helped out at home. She was given space to, well, recover.
It suggests a real psychological depth, a struggle happening beneath the surface.
Absolutely.
And it gets really interesting when she talks about how places and people started to blur in her mind.
Yes. Berlin, Paris, Sydney, London.
And people, too. Caden, her father, Edgar, all blending together.
It sounds like a profound internal reckoning, doesn't it? Trying to piece together a fragmented self.
Definitely. And amongst all this heavy stuff, you get these wonderfully specific, almost mundane details.
Like the buttons.
Yes. Needing buttons in Paris, finding this shop with thousands of them, all shapes, sizes, colors, sparkling.
It's those little human moments that make it so vivid, I think, amidst all the trauma.
Totally. And then her journey continues, right, across the world.
She saves up money working as a seamstress.
To get passage on a ship, she treats it like this wonderful adventure.
Despite being in steerage, which was basic, to say the least, dormitories for women and children at one end, men at the other.
Zero privacy. But lots of other people were on that ship, too. Many British people fleeing post-war Britain.
Yeah, the bleak homeland, austerity, they were chasing sunshine and new opportunities. It really captures that wider moment of emigration.
It does. And she has these encounters, these little character sketches almost.
Like the handsome man she initially thinks is German.
Right. Tall, blonde, late 20s. Turns out he's from Cork.
And not much of a one for the chat, apparently.
And later, much later, at a wedding, she meets a cousin, Marcus.
Ah, yes, the dog groomer.
The dog groomer. With a thriving business, a dozen vans.
Yeah.
She finds it extraordinary.
And wishes there was a similar service for humans. It's these quirky little observations that, again, ground her experience.
They really do paint a picture. But then there's this other piece of the puzzle. It's quite chilling, actually.
Yes, this description of what seems like a film or maybe a news report.
It shows inmates somewhere.
Yeah.
Being given 3 hot meals a day access to a library, and the finest health care.
Even a football league. There's a scene of young men playing, someone scores a goal, celebrates.
But the narrator's comment is key. To the foolish, this seemed like normal life being played out before us.
It screams propaganda, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A deliberate distortion of a likely horrific reality.
Absolutely. Makes you really question what's being presented versus what's actually happening.
And this brings us right to the core of her identity, her whole lifelong attempt, perhaps, to claim innocence.
Because then comes the reveal. The name.
She says, the boy that I loved more than any other, more than anyone else in her life, my brother, Bruno.
And boom, there it is. The connection.
The direct link to the boy in the striped pajamas.
John Boyne's earlier novel, the author's note in our sources, explicitly confirms it.
Yeah, he says he conceived of All the Broken Places back in 2004, right after finishing the first book. It was originally called Gretel's Story.
Exploring who Bruno's older sister might become later in life, what experiences would shape her.
It just completely reframes everything we've learned about her, doesn't it?
It really does.
And the author's note goes further, talking about his fascination with the Holocaust, ignited by Elie Wiesel's Night.
He stresses the burden, the responsibility of exploring emotional truths when writing about it.
And he makes a case for telling Gretel's story. He believes, despite her mistakes, her complicity, her regrets, her story is still worth telling.
And he says something quite pointed, doesn't he? About his focus.
Yes. I have less interest in the monsters than I do in the people who knew what the monsters were doing and deliberately looked away.
That's quite a statement. It really puts the focus on that complicity, that looking away.
Exactly. It challenges us, the readers, too.
Wow. So we've covered a lot of ground here, from that almost shockingly luxurious flat in London.
Right back to the immediate aftermath of the war.
Through the eyes of this character, Gretel, grappling with this immense weight of history. And it's amazing how those small details, the buttons, the ship journey, the dog groomer.
They anchor this epic life story, don't they? They make it human.
They really do.
And I think this deep dive into her story really pushes us to think about the past's long shadow, how legacy endures, and the many ways complicity can manifest.
Not just the obvious acts of evil.
No, but also the quiet turning away, the internal struggles of those who, as Boyne says, looked away.
It's a profound look at how the past shapes the present. So maybe the question for you listening is, how do whole societies actually reckon with history? Especially when it's incredibly dark and maybe closer to home. How much innocence can any of us truly claim from our own pasts or the past we inherit?